What's up, everybody? I would be remiss at the beginning of this video if I didn't take a couple of seconds to welcome all the new subscribers coming over from TJ's channel. TJ and I go way back here on YouTube, and if you look at my number of subscribers, I think the last time I looked I had like 13,000, maybe encroaching on 14,000 subscribers. If were it not for TJ, I'd have probably 10 or 11,000 less subscribers. So most of my audience is a small subsection of his audience. So welcome to the channel. Happy to have you. Glad to have your fucking input. With me, the subscriber count thing has never really mattered. Well, I guess that's a lie. If I had no subscribers, I probably wouldn't make videos. But it's not so much about the number of people as it's about the feedback that I get. And one of the criticisms I've always had of myself, being a very introspective person and a very self-critical person, is that my channel oftentimes feels like an echo chamber for me, because the response to my videos that I get is almost always overwhelmingly positive. I'm bragging about that. It just is what it is. You go back and look at my videos, you know, the negative comments are so far outnumbered that they just get lost in the shuffle. But I like the negative comments, and I think that getting more people watching me gets more of that into the mix. So if you don't agree with me, welcome. If you agree with me, welcome. If you're a troll, we need more, trolls. I need a few more trolls. We need to mix some shit up. Also, just to clear something up, TJ said it in his video. He was worried about me getting angry that he uploaded my video in full. For the record, so in the future, if you're wondering, do whatever the fuck you want with my videos. I don't care. I don't have any illusions of intellectual property rights when it comes to my videos. Take them, chop them up, make me look like I'm saying something that I, didn't really say. Like, I like to fuck sheep in the asshole. You know what I mean? Like, chop it up. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Anybody that does YouTube will tell you that when somebody does that, when somebody takes a chunk of your video and uploads it, even if they're lampooning you, it more often than not brings views and subscribers to your channel rather than detracts them. So if you want to do it, do it. The way that I work on YouTube is that when I make a video, I don't like to dwell on the same exact subject of a video for multiple videos in a row. It's just, when I make a video, I kind of say everything I want to say about it and move on. But this last video that I made, the one that most of you have seen on TJ's channel, has sparked enough debate and enough good questions that I feel like I want to kind of give an addendum to it. So I guess I'll call this one Happy New Year. I don't know. I'm a little less pissed than I was in the last video. But, so I'll start with TJ's video first. The thing that really resonated with me about TJ's video was this idea of incremental change. The fact that this country has gotten noticeably better in the last 100 years. He talks about the rights of African Americans. They were full-blown slaves, and now they can vote, they can marry whoever they please. And I have kind of a weird perspective on this, and maybe it's just because I'm such a deep, dyed-in-the-fucking-wool cynic. But I don't look at those changes as positive. Now, before you start shouting at me, give me a second. Please. I don't look at them as positive because of how hard people had to fight to get them. The fact that America was the shame of the fucking Western world with its slavery trade. It was despicable. All right? Long after other westernized cultures, long after other industrialized nations had realized that slavery was this ugly, horrific, dehumanizing thing, America was still churning out them bales of cotton and them buckets of molasses, yee-haw, whip them niggers into shape. It seems like we're the last ones to figure it out. I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of how long it took for us to realize that people that have different skin colors are also human beings and deserving of the same rights. So this incremental change that TJ talks about as a positive thing, I, in my infinite cynicism, spin that into a negative. The fact that it takes us so fucking long to get something right, to get something so basic as the fact that a human is a human, correct, is another source of shame for me. The fact that during the lifetime of my parents, black people couldn't drink out of the same fucking drinking fountains as white people could. That's shameful. That's shameful. And the fact that we don't deserve a pat on the back for that. I'm sorry. America doesn't deserve a pat on the back because we're no longer institutionalizing forced labor. We're no longer trading in people like they're chattel, like they're a fucking commodity. We don't deserve a pat on the back for that. That's like patting yourself on the back because you stopped pissing your pants. You know what I mean? It's the logical conclusion. The fact that it took us so fucking long to get there. The fact that so much of this country dug its heels in. The fact that this country fractured itself in fucking half and killed each other in just unprecedented fucking numbers over this. The fact that it didn't just happen. You know what I mean? That's not something to be fucking proud of. That's a source of shame. I'm ashamed of the fact that I live in a country that took so long to get that right. So, I get where TJ's coming from, but I don't see it that way. I'm not prepared to pat this country on the back because it figured out how not to piss its pants. I'm not prepared. Okay? He talks about McCarthyism. I hate to sound like a rank conspiracy theorist here, but doesn't it seem like we're kind of backsliding with regards to that shit? Doesn't it seem like that your political views are starting to become a more polarizing thing? That instead of becoming more accepting of opposite political views, we're starting to become less accepting. We've got people splintering off into their own little one-toothed hillbilly, yeehaw, hoedown fucking political movements, tea parties, or whatever the fuck they want to call them. Calling people traitors. You remember just 8 years ago, I know we've all tried to flush George W. Bush down the fucking shitter. But do you remember like 6 years ago when there was a good cross-section of this country that was calling people traitors for questioning the president in a time of war? The whole McCarthyism thing, I don't think that wound is healed. I think it's called something different now. I think it's kind of shifted a little bit. But I don't think that wound is healed. In fact, I think that wound is festering. And I think that wound is going to continue to fester because, as I said, not to repeat myself, but as I said in my last video, I think people are dumb, and I think they're getting dumber, and I think it's going to take an informed populace to cauterize that fucking wound and finally let it scab over. And I don't think we got that, and I don't think we're going to get that. So, no. Those sources of pride that TJ listed, I'm glad that TJ that you can find something to be proud of in this country. But you got to dig. I guess you're going to have to dig deeper than that to find something that I'm proud of in this country. I don't believe that America deserves a pat on the back because it figured that out. And we've still got large, minorities in this country who are still being denied their basic human rights. It used to be the black people, now it's gays. Now gays and lesbians are having to fight tooth and nail for the basic right to marry who they want, to enjoy the same social status as heterosexuals do. I don't see progress. I see a shifting of problems. Okay, and what little progress there is, even in the deepest, darkest pit of my black little cynic's heart, I have to admit that there has been some incremental progress. But I don't think we have the luxury of progress being that incremental. I don't think we got the time. I'm sorry, I don't think we have time to wait another 100 years to decide that humans all deserve the same rights. I don't think we have the time to wait another 100 years for people to decide that they don't want the government looking at them while they shower. They don't want the government looking at their dick in order to get on the plane. Now, here's something that I wanted to bring up. This is something that I got in the comments for my video. I saw it in the comments of TJ's video. I got a video response from somebody kind of saying this. There are a lot of people who kind of support this TSA thing. And to those people that say, well, what would you do? What's the alternative, Paul? Do we just let these terrorists flood onto our planes and blow up our fucking planes? You prove my point. You prove my fucking point. If you honestly support this TSA bullshit, you're the coward I was talking about in that Merry Xmas video. Sorry to inform you. Sorry to have to drop that knowledge on you. I know it's a hard thing to hear for an idiot. You know, if there's one thing, convincing an idiot that he's an idiot has got to be the hardest fucking thing in the world. But I'm sorry, if you think this TSA body scanner thing that we've got all now stripped naked digitally to ensure our safety on an airplane is in any way warranted, you're a fucking moron. Cleanse the fucking gene pool. Okay, don't squirt another nut in a girl. Please, please, please learn how to use a condom. Please, don't procreate. It's cowardly. I would rather, and I'll say this flat out, I would rather risk the small, minute, insignificant statistical chance that I will get on a plane that is somehow hijacked and flown into a building. I would rather risk that teeny, tiny, little, barely worth mentioning fucking million, billion to one fucking chance, right? I would rather risk that than let one TSA agent look at my balls. Call me a fucking crazy person. That's cowardly. If you're willing to strip yourself fucking naked for a government employee to save yourself from some tiny little statistical possibility that you might get hurt on a plane, then you're a fucking coward. You're exactly what I was talking about in that last video. Go fuck yourself. So just to address that. And then the last thing that I wanted to address is comments that people have left me saying, well, what are you going to do about it, Paul? Are you just another, loudmouthed asshole on the internet that just spews venom at his webcam but doesn't do shit? Well, I'm not one to brag, but yes, for the most part I am. For the most part I am just another fat, lazy asshole with a webcam living a life of abject luxury that does absolutely nothing to help his fellow man. I do donate my time. I do donate money when I have the chance. But it is so hard for me. It is so hard for me to see those acts of kindness that I can afford to give, to see the time that I can afford to donate to a cause as anything but just a drop in the fucking ocean. And to see myself as a small minority of people that extend their hand to their fellow man and say, here's a leg up. I know you're down on your luck. So I do help out. But I kind of agree with you. And that's the problem. That's the source of my frustration. I do feel like just another fat American, just another fat white guy with a webcam, yelling and screaming and not doing anything about it. My problem is what little time that I have when I'm not working or trying to take care of, what it takes to maintain an existence in this country, just feels like a drop in the fucking ocean. It doesn't feel like enough. And that's my problem. Yeah. So anyway, that covers what I wanted to fucking cover. So once again, welcome to all the new people. And as cynical as it sounded at the end of my last video, I do hope that you had a Merry Christmas. I had a pretty awesome Christmas. My favorite present was my wife got me a Big Lebowski movie poster, which as soon as I can be arsed to go buy myself a frame, will be adorning this wall back behind me soon, because my walls are completely bare in this little room. I was so happy when we bought this house that I had my own little computer. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be my man cave. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pan this around a little bit. There's nothing in here. I got this chair that I prop my feet up on. I've got a bunch of old electronic shit in the corner. There's my monitor, and there's nothing on the walls. You know what I mean? My walls are just completely fucking bare. So it's going to be nice to put something up. So anyway, I genuinely do hope you had a Merry Christmas, or whichever holiday you choose to celebrate or not celebrate. I hope that it was a good time with your friends and family, and I hope you have a good New Year coming up. Until next time, peace, everybody.